At 3 a.m. my dad called and said, "Your apartment building's on fire. Hope you've got insurance." I just started laughing. My dad's voice was sharp. "Why are you laughing? This is a tragedy." But I just kept laughing. Because, Dad, I managed to say that building wasn't just my home. I'm Audrey, 32, and for the last 5 years, I'd been pouring my soul into making it as an artist in New York City. So when my phone rang at 3 a.m. with Dad on the other end, telling me my apartment building was engulfed in flames, I certainly didn't expect to laugh. What shocked him more than the fire itself was my response, a full, almost hysterical laughter that left him utterly baffled. How could I laugh at losing everything? But first, let me rewind. Before that devastating call, before I found myself laughing at what should have been a tragedy, my story began in Oak Ridge, a small Midwestern town where everyone knew everyone, and big dreams felt out of place, like skyscrapers on Main Street. My parents, especially my dad, Harold, lived by a code of practicality. He was an accountant who saw life through spreadsheets and financial security. My mom, though softer, usually deferred to his judgment. Their vision for me was clear: an accounting degree, a stable job, maybe teaching if I was feeling particularly adventurous. But I had been drawing since I could hold a crayon. Mrs. Lee, my high school art teacher, was the first person who ever told me I had real talent. While my father rolled his eyes at the stacks of art school brochures on my desk, she helped me assemble a portfolio. When I got accepted to an art program in New York with a partial scholarship, the battle at home began. "Art doesn't pay the bills, Audrey," Dad would say, his voice calm but resolute. "Do you know how many talented people end up waiting tables their whole lives?" Despite their objections, I moved to New York 8 years ago with 2 suitcases and a determination that felt like armor. That resolve quickly eroded when faced with New York City's brutal rent prices. The first year, I bounced between 3 different shared apartments, each more cramped than the last. I worked 2 part-time jobs while taking classes, barely finding time to actually create art. 5 years ago, I stumbled upon the building in Brooklyn. To say it wasn't much to look at would have been generous. 6 stories of faded brick with windows that rattled when trucks passed. The lobby always smelled faintly of cabbage, and the elevator worked maybe 60% of the time. But the rent was surprisingly affordable for a 1-bedroom, and the bedroom had this amazing northern light, perfect for painting. The building owner, Mr. Vasquez, was an elderly man who rarely fixed anything, but also rarely raised the rent. He'd owned the building for 40 years, operating more on handshake agreements than formal leases. My neighbors were a diverse group who had mostly lived there for years. There was Vanessa, a nurse who worked night shifts and would bring me soup when I was sick. Walter, a retired high school teacher who played jazz records too loud on Sunday mornings. But no one complained because his taste was impeccable. The Patel family on the first floor ran a small grocery store 2 blocks away and would save the best produce for regular tenants. Every time I called my parents, Dad would ask, "Have you gotten renter's insurance yet?" And every time, I would promise to look into it next week. There was always a more urgent expense: art supplies, dental work, winter boots. When mine finally fell apart, insurance seemed like something I could postpone indefinitely.